Okay, so moving on to the next school, we have Brentwood School and represented by Brian Hayes. He's the boarding recruitment manager. Let's make welcome Brian. Brian.
Hi, everyone, and hi, Rebecca. I spotted somebody that I know. Um, so I have a presentation from the headmaster, so I'm going to attempt to show a video, and I hope it doesn't all go wrong. And then I'll come back on to screen. I'm boarding a recruitment manager. Um, so if you do apply to Brentwood, the whole process will go through me, but I'll explain more about that later. So here we go. Just give me a minute. See my screen? Hi, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. Here we go.
I often get asked what I love most about Brentwood School, and I always give the same answer, and that is community. For me, Brentwood is much more of a community than a school. We have a strong moral purpose here. We want our students to do good in the world, not just well in their exams. Our community comes in part from our values. Our values, virtue, learning and manners, were first written down in 1622, so they've been with us for over 400 years. And I would argue they've never been more important than they are today. We walk the walk rather than just talking the talk. We live our values. They're much more than just posters on walls, and we ask our students and we ask ourselves to follow and use them in every decision we make, whether that's big or small. An important part of community is well-being. We want our students to feel cared for, known and valued as individuals within our school. We want all of our students to find out what it is that makes them tick. Everyone has something that makes them special, and our job with parents working together in partnership is to help every individual student find out what that thing is for them. One of the ways we do that is by providing both breadth and depth. We have a very broad curriculum. For example, in the sixth form, we're one of the only independent schools in the UK that offers 3 pathways: the IB diploma, the BTEC extended diploma, and of course A-levels. We have a vast range of co-curricular activities: music, the performing arts, sport, CCF, voluntary service, Duke of Edinburgh, you name it, we've got it. The benefit of that is it allows students to try lots of things, some of which they've done before they join us, some of which they've never tried. And we encourage all of our students to get involved, because they will find something that is going to become their thing. And of course, going back to well-being, if a young person finds out what it is that makes them tick, they are much more likely to be content, to be happy, and then of course a virtuous circle is completed. They will do well. We are blessed with fantastic facilities. We have 75 acres of green space here at Brentwood, only 25 minutes from central London. Our facilities, we have modern state-of-the-art facilities across the campus, but they are very much blended with our historic buildings. The original schoolroom, dating back to the 1560s, is still in daily use. Our chapel from the mid-19th century is used for all of our students. Our library, our Bean Library, is a blend of the old and the new, and that very much represents our school. We have deep roots that go back into our history, but we're also very forward-looking and optimistic about the future. An example of that is our newest building, a 120-bedroom, single ensuite boarding house with an integrated sixth form cafe that will be opening its doors in September 2025. But much more important than facilities are people. I started by talking about community, and our people make our community. It's what makes Brentwood School special. In fact, it's what makes us Brentwood.
Okay, I hope that came across okay. So if I can add to that, so as Mr. Bond explained, we have a new boarding house coming in September. We're recruiting for that now because we're doubling our boarding numbers. We have plenty of spaces this year, so an certainly unusual position to be in. Brentwood is a very large school. There's a lot on offer. It's essentially a day school with boarding, but because of the demand for boarding, we're doubling our numbers. We're expanding our numbers. So the reason for that is essentially our IB results. We're recruiting almost exclusively for IB. We do have A levels. We do have BTEC. I do recruit students for those subjects as well, but the IB is essentially driving our boarding recruitment. We have a 38.3 IB average. We're number 6 school in the UK for that, for boarding. Our IB boarders are coming essentially from international schools. So that's our market. And I'm hoping there are families out there right now who are on this call. Second to IB for boarders at Brentwood is probably music. We're a Steinway school and we have a specialist music program. It's a sort of pre-conservatoire program where the academic curriculum is tailored around music. Like other schools have talked about, we have boarding scholarships. We've got new scholarships that the governors have awarded for this year to mark the opening of the new boarding house. So those are available for pretty much everything to recognise, as Mr. Bond said, talent in all sorts of areas. But music would be one of the big ones that we're looking for. And we're just about to launch an international music competition with some prizes associated with that to find really talented musicians that want to come to Brentwood. Being a large school, there's a lot on offer. There's a lot of sports, but if I can just mention the ones that stand out. So I think you saw there football. That's at academy level. We've got a lot of famous alumni, some professional footballers and international players and so on. That's one of them. Fencing is another, quite unusual. We're one of the 2 top schools in the country for fencing. Tennis is another at academy level. Athletics, outside of sport, but within the co-curriculum, we have a dance academy. Dance is very, very strong, driven by the music, because director of music is also director of performing arts. We are a diamond model school, so just following on there from Rodine, yes, girls do better academically together, and boys are similar if you look at league tables. So from the age of 11 to 16, boys and girls at Brentwood are taught separately academically, co-curricular wise, and socially they come together. In our prep school they're together, and in our sixth form they're together. So we have this diamond model. That's we can offer that because we're a very large school, and we can offer so much because we're a large school. So you probably just got a flavor of that just now. So in a nutshell, I think just to add a couple of other things, we're essentially a London school. So although we are outside of London, we're on the Elizabeth line. So the newest tube line to London, 25 minutes, as Mr. Bond said, to central London. We're also in a town setting. So those are the things that really stand out for Brentwood School. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for that presentation. Okay, so we have a question for you already. And the question says, Brentwood is a day school with boarding. How do you handle weekend activities? Because this parent anticipates that the school would mainly be empty during the weekend. So how does the school handle weekend activities?
Right, so Saturday mornings at Brentwood are co-curricular. We don't have academic lessons at the weekends, but we have an extremely full co-curricular program on a Saturday morning, mostly sports fixtures, which are extensive. Being a large school, we can offer choice. So, for example, we run high-level rugby and football, 2 terms of each. You can only do that through size and maintain a high standard in both. So there's a very extensive fixtures program on a Saturday morning, but other things going on as well, like the musicians are going to conservatoires, doing their practice for that. The dance academy is going on and so on. So that's Saturday mornings. And then like the other schools, we run trips into London around Brentwood on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evenings. Sundays are in the house. In the new boarding house, boarders will be just walking downstairs to the cafe, which is in, or cafe/dining room, which is in the boarding house, to have a brunch, and then there'll be some sort of activity within the boarding house. The last one that happened, boys and girls got together on Sunday. We offer chess scholarships as another sort of standout for Brentwood. We have a grandmaster who's the chess coach. They got together and they either learned to play chess or played against each other, the ones that knew how to play. So there's something going on in the boarding house on Saturday, on Sunday as well. Very much by choice. We don't have compulsory anything at the weekend. You know, typically for a boarding house, a traditional boarding house in the UK, there'd be Saturday morning lessons, Saturday afternoon compulsory sport. We don't have that. It's co-curricular and sport by choice on a Saturday. Boarders can have every weekend as an exeat and go home. We have, for example, French boarders going to Paris on the train at weekends, but we have plenty of boarders that stay in every weekend. So for them, there can be no exeats. So it's up to each boarder and each family what they, how they decide to do that.
Okay, so we have another question, and it says, how does the school address issues of unconscious bias and racism in the students' body?
Good question. Well, I think the last inset I did, whole school inset, was on unconscious bias. You probably saw from the video, we're a very multicultural school. That's a reflection of being so close to London. So we do, for example, we have Nigerian boarders, we have Nigerian day students as well. I get quite excited when I see registrations coming in. I see the nationality of the student. I think, oh, here's a boarder. And as often as not, it's actually a day student. So we're an extremely culturally diverse school, and therefore, diversity and avoiding unconscious bias is extremely important for the school and for the teachers and everyone working within the school.
What would you say is the percentage of foreign students that are in your school?
Boarders, 80% are international. The other 20% are British expats, so Foreign Office and so on. Within the day population, I would say about a third are non-British nationalities, but obviously they're day students living in the UK.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful listening to you. I hope the parents are amazed as well. Okay, thank you. So far, we've seen 3 schools. We've seen Farrington School, Roden School, and we just saw
I'm so
Brentwood.
sorry, Da Silva. I think a parent has her hand raised.
Oh, okay. By all means, please, can you ask your question? Oh, Can
Hello.
you have,
So I'm back. I'm on now. Can you hear
okay,
me?
go ahead, yes.
Only because I've met Brian before, I needed to say hello. Hello, Brian. It's Bernadette. I don't think I'm sure you remember me from Independent School Show. Um, I'm not sure if you do. I'm one of the associate consultants here at Brains and Butter, and I
Yeah,
really,
sorry, I
really
was on mute. Yeah, from Battersea. Yes, hi.
do you remember me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to, because there's a lot of Nigerian parents online. There's a lot of Nigerian students who will be interested in Brentwood School. Also, I know that one of the unique selling points will be that you're near London. It's a cultural, multinational school. Well, what is that one thing you want to put across the Nigerian parents on the line right now about the unique selling point of your school? What is that one thing they should be looking forward to when they join as
Oh,
Nigerian families?
one thing I'm going to have to do, sort of wrap up a couple of things in a sentence. I think.
That's
I
fine.
think obviously, the schools here, they're great schools, and they're great at lots of things. I think if I had to say one thing at Brentwood, choice and diversity. I think, and that comes from being at such a huge school, which such a lot on offer.
Thank you. Choice and diversity. Okay, choice in subjects, choice in sports, choice. What sort of choices?
Yeah, all of that. I mean, a
Okay.
choice in boarding, because it can be very. I was going to say flexible, but we only recruit long-term boarders.
Yeah.
Though we do now in the new boarding house have a small number of flexi boarders. But that idea of it can be like a full boarding school where boarders are in the whole time and they're doing everything in the boarding house, or they can be away because they're not missing lessons, they're not missing compulsory sport. And so we do have boarders, for example, traveling back to places like Paris many weekends and flying back to Lisbon and so on. But some are in the boarding house the whole time and extremely busy with all the things that are on offer. But so it's extremely varied. There isn't a one size fits all. We have the IB cohort, with an average at sort of Oxbridge level, but then we have A level at a slightly different level, and we have BTECs as well at a different academic level. So there's something on offer for everybody in
Okay.
every sort of aspect of the school.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Okay.